I want you to see this picture, and I know probably most people have already viewed this, and there's been some talk, a lot of talk about it, where a black woman was pictured in a Christmas ad, and you see all the other families, and if you just really look at the photos here, you see that there's a husband and wife in all the other families. But when you look at the black woman, she is by herself with children. And so I know people will focus on the fact that she didn't have a husband, but look at the children she has. They're black children. She's a black woman. And so she was left with black children. So what does that say about that father that left her with those children? So it extends to outside the fact that she just doesn't have the man there, but he left her with those children. So you're also not only saying something about her, you're saying something about those children's father not being around. And let's be honest here. There are women, and they're not just black, that are left with children. And the father is either, not in the picture for whatever the circumstance. Maybe they passed away, or you have some women who are single parents. And so what this depiction, right away, the message that it sends that is very negative is that black family is not complete, and that the man is out of the picture, and that either it's him that's the problem, or it's the woman that's the problem, or both. And if you look at all of the things that have been done to the black culture, even dating back to slavery when they separated families, they auctioned families off, they moved families to different plantations, up to now where you have black families that are torn apart because they couldn't live with a man, because if they were on a public assistance and they had a man living with them, they felt that, he should be providing. And there was a time that it was like that you couldn't have the man's clothes and the man's belongings around because that meant that you had another income. Then it came to a point where you had a lot of black men who were incarcerated. They were took away from their homes because they're incarcerated. They may have been with the woman and kids, but because they were accused of doing something illegal, they were taken out of the home and they were incarcerated. And so that pulled them away from their family. Or there could have been other reasons. And then you have where you have men who will leave a woman with children and won't stay there to father the children and leave her with the responsibility of raising her children alone. And so there's many thoughts that were rolling in the heads of the people that saw this ad, and it came off as extremely offensive, and should have. So Burt B. had apologized after the family Christmas photo shows black woman without a husband. And so this video, I'm sure there were videos and maybe Twitter feed on these pictures that circulated. So this is by Tanya Pendleton out of the Griot. Until recently, Burt B had been best known perhaps for their bright yellow packaging with their lip balm and baby products that are ubiquitous at every beauty and drugstore that you can think of. So apparently, the main base company that is a Clorox subsidiary also makes apparel, including cutesy sets of holiday pajamas suitable for family holiday Instagram shots. But that's where they got into some trouble recently because Burt decided to post an ad showcased real live families. Okay, so this goes a step further now. These are real live families in their holiday gear to promote said baby products and PJs. So in the fourth panel ad, there are three white photogenic families with their children, all nuclear families with a mom, a dad, and usual ad campaigns features them. And so the issue came with the portrayal of the black family, which showed just the black mother and her children. Posted initially by a baller alert with a caption that said why. The ad generated controversy from observers who say that the ad perpetuates the stereotypes about black fathers. Okay? And so while some might argue that that's a topic hotly debated within the black community, the issue is that Burt intended to showcase the white families as an ideal that the black family didn't match, to pardon the pun. And so the company issued a quick response after the social media backlash saying that their intention was not to be dismissive of black fathers. They said that after shooting several real live families over the past summer, the pandemic changed their shoot schedule and that the black father, couldn't make the new shoot dates due to his work schedule. That also paints the picture. That black father was out working and he couldn't make the shoot because what happened in the pandemic, we learned that most of the jobs, the essential workers, are black and Hispanic people. And most of the people that work at home, if you're a black person and you make a little more money, you might work at home, but that's not all of us. The majority of us are essential workers. And so that black father was out at work and he couldn't make that photo. But the message that it sent was real offensive in the sense that people looked at it as stereotypical. But now that you listen to this article and learn that that black father was out working, that also sends another message. Yeah, he's out working, but look what he has to do. During the pandemic, he's working. And you see all of the other families. What are they doing? Taking photos. Because they don't have to put their lives at risk. That's another reason you could look at. But on behalf of Burt B's baby, in response to the image of the family shown on our website, we are deeply sorry, they say, for the hurt that this image has caused, the company said in a statement. And so, this is posted to the social media accounts. And so, we recognize the importance of portrayals of families, of the family that was not available for the rescheduling, and also in a way that doesn't promote harmful stereotype. Our choice of use of the photo when part of the family was not available for the rescheduling photo shoot, it was wrong, they said. And we have removed the image from our website. So these 4 images were not part of the ad and not collectively compiled by the company, but pasted together by a Twitter user using different images of actual families that we have on our site, which includes other representations of real black families. So even so, we have learned a lot about impact and intent, and we own the responsibility of the impact of having an image on our website. We understand that representation matters and that representation has impact. please know that Burt Bees Babies is actively and continually working on our own inclusion and diversity journey as an organization. So our mission has always been to do good, to be kind, and to care for all the families, our planet, and each other. We aim for inclusivity and hope to reflect that throughout every aspect of our company, and we will do better. And so that right there on the Twitter feed is probably the statement I just read. So today, Burt Bees' website, there is an image at the top of the site showing two black parents with a baby, but the arrow left, some social media uses questioning, your users that questioning the original intent. And so people still feel, but you decided to use the image anyway. You are guilty. Stop the lies. So that's what somebody wrote, their reaction. Some people, you got a lot of reaction. May I point out that it is your non-black supporters and non-POC saying people need to stop being so sensitive. So it's because they don't get it. Racism discrimination is normal to them. So thank you from a black human for issuing out an apology. Okay, and so the photo of a black mother and her children has since been deleted from the website. This article originally appeared in the Grill, and so there's a lot of feedback, a lot of backlash, a lot of comments. And so when you do see this, when you see it, it definitely stands out. When I first saw it, by them having the stripes, I said, well, maybe that makes them look like they're headed to prison or something, you know. But then I saw the family up top, and I said, no, they kind of have stripes. But then I started to look at the whole picture, and I noticed there was no father with the black family, and that he wasn't pictured. And so it just sort of sent a negative message. Also, when you're looking at it, underneath all of the photos, it says Burt Bees Baby. And in the black family photo, I don't know if it might have said that and it was cut off, because you can see the feet of everybody in the other photos. So I'm thinking this photo was sort of maybe pulled and put in there. Um, and maybe it said Burt Bees Babies. But you don't see it in that photo, and it just has the black family with no father. So there could be a lot of things that you could assume from this. Now, right off when I'm looking at this, it does look and appear that the stereotypical version of this is that there is no male in the home and that the woman is left single and abandoned. Her kids are abandoned by the kid's father. Everybody's situation is not like that. There may be some people like that, and that not necessarily have to be black, but by them doing that, it does send a negative message. And it also sends a negative message in the sense that how it treats black women, how black women are treated in relationships. And so I thought that was something also that should have been pointed out, not just the fact that the father isn't around and that he was excluded from this photo, but also how black women are viewed, you know. So there's a lot of negative messages around this image. And so ads are very powerful, and they speak to a lot of people. In marketing, they use ads to try to get people to respond to certain products or to buy certain things. And it's a strategy that they use. And it sends messages. And so when you see ads like this, you can't help but to see the messages that they send on the surface. Not only that they're selling clothing, but they're also sending you another message by showing you the families that are either they're families that are nuclear families and families where you have a single parent family. It probably would not have been as as offensive if they had all of the women where there was no father, where they just showed the mother and the children, and it wasn't viewed like families. It was viewed more like mother and kids. Um, Maybe it would have been as offensive, and you had different women posing with their children. Then maybe if you had fathers just posing with the children, you know. But by you having three families where there's a mother and father, and then you have the woman that's black with no spouse, does send a negative message. So I just wanted to mention that because I know that this video's probably the Twitter feed was like off the hook on this, but when they when you see this in society, it sends these messages to people, and the people in the back of their minds, they have pretty much, kept these images in their thought process, and this is how they treat people. And so I feel like black women a lot of times do get treated negatively, and this is yet but another way of exhibiting that treatment. And then on top of it, how black men are treated and viewed in society as well. And so this was not only done to black males, but this was done to the entire black family unit. It's another way of sending a message that you have once again done the work, but this time in an ad of separating black families and excluding them out of the nuclear family unit. So anyway, I'm going to let this video go. Like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for listening.